Hi, guys, this is your coach Joseph, and I am sending you this message from the beautiful city of Istanbul. I'm here for some work, and I'm just looking out my window, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'm just grateful for this day. And the topic I want to talk about today is happiness. Happiness. Um, I don't know. I don't care who you talk to. Everybody wants to be happy. We all want to be happy. What I want to talk about today is that it's very, very important not to think that your source of happiness will come from the outside. It's very important to remember that your happiness should always be in your hands. Do not wait for somebody to make you happy. Do not wait for something tangible, you know, because a lot of people say like, if I had this great job where I make a lot of money, I would be very happy. You know, if I had $1 million on my bank account, I'd be very happy. And I understand that kind of thinking, because you're thinking like, oh well, if I had a lot of money, I would buy me this and buy me that, and I wouldn't worry about paying bills and all that. Um, but that is not the source of happiness, because if that were true, every single person who's very rich would be very, very happy. But we all know that that's not true. There's a lot of people who are very, very rich but very, very unhappy. There's a lot of people who commit suicide even though they have like several $1 million on their accounts. There's a lot of people who turn to taking drugs, and they do all sorts of things that you wouldn't associate with someone you would think is happy, even though they have all this stuff. So your source of happiness is not something tangible. It's not something from the outside. Happiness is an emotional state from the inside. And your happiness should always be in your hands. You shouldn't place it in somebody else's hand. Because some people also, say that, well, if I had a great husband, a great wife, a beautiful girlfriend, I'll be happy. Happiness does not come from that. And having talked about rich people and happiness, I also want to say that poverty is also not a source of happiness. Because some people would think like, oh well, yeah, if you're rich, you're going to be unhappy. So that would mean probably like if I'm poor, then I'll be happy. No. The source of happiness is neither poverty nor wealth. It comes from the inside. Your source of happiness is in your hands. It's in your hands. It's not in anybody's hands. It's in your hands. Because if you depend on other people, if you depend on other things or tangible stuff, then you're totally at the mercy of others. And that should never, never be the case. And that's why a lot of people really get disappointed. They're like, oh, I thought if I was with this guy, I thought if I had this girl, I'm going to be happy for the rest of my life. And then it turns out that, it's not that rosy like they thought. Because that's a lie. The source of happiness is in your hands. It's an emotional state from the inside. You can choose to be happy. You can say, you know what? My source of happiness comes from me, from the inside. You can choose to be happy. Of course, I don't mean that that you will always feel happy. It would be naive to say that. I know that there are times when we don't feel happy. But yet, I think that it's under your control. You can choose to be happy. Never let anybody else, control your happiness. Your happiness or the lack of it is always in your hands. It should never be in anybody else's hands. I hope that will help you guys. And I'm just talking from experience. I know through my own journey in my own life that at the moment I realized it, the moment I came to realize that the source of happiness should always be, is always in me, it's in my hands. A lot of stuff changed. It was just like a new paradigm. It was a new perspective. Because before that, I also thought like, well, if I had this and that, I would be happier. But it turned out it's not true. It's an emotional state from the inside, and you have the power to control that. I hope this helps you guys. Take care.